Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. Get addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited, bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn it back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, welcome to the hood table one more again. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Make sure you share the link out so you can share the live, and also please make sure you hit the like button. And also, if you're not already subscribed to the hood table, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and then also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can know every time we go live. And today we have a special guest with us. So everybody come on in the chat and welcome our special guest. I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
I'm Bethany. Hi.
Hi, Bethany. Thanks for coming on to the show tonight. Matter of fact, let me put the name on the show on the bottom part so people can see when they come in what we're talking about, because some people will come right in the show, be like, what's the discussion about? Like, they don't see the title of the show before they jump in. But anywho, we're going to be having a discussion tonight that I feel is really needed and necessary in the times that we're dealing with right now with these current events that's been going on. And Bethany, somebody hooked me in, well, Bethany and I up because, you know, something that they saw on social media that Bethany had posted, and some certain people felt some type of way about what she had posted. And so that's what we're going to be, you know, talking about this racism, being biracial, dealing with Black Lives Matter and everything like that going on. So Bethany, what I'm going to do first, I am going to pull up this post that I had saw on your Facebook page.
Yes.
And because I just want to make sure that I read it verbatim for everybody. And then we'll jump into the discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what Bethany had posted on her Facebook page, she said, as the Black Lives Matter movement is protesting the recent lives taken due to police brutality, our nation is being brought to light the gross negligence of the government and judicial system in the United States. All 50 states have protests against the oppression of Black Americans, including countries such as England, Italy, Germany, Iran, and Pakistan, to name a few. The heartache and the outrage are tumultuous, to say the least. As a Black woman myself, I fear for my son's life, who is still cute enough to get by. But when will his cuteness become scary to skittish officers who choose to wear the uniform? Will he be the next Tamar Rice, Trayvon Martin, or George Floyd? Enough has been enough, and we are tired. The merchandise stolen from looters and rioters are not associated with the BLM movement, and even if they can rebuild and regain money, you cannot bring the innocent people who lost their lives for no reason back. I am a proud Black woman. I was born Black, and I will die Black. At the end of the day, the uniform can be removed, but our skin cannot. And that is the post that you have posted on social media, on your Facebook. And I like the post. I really do like what you posted. So I want to get into what somebody had commented on your Facebook and why you felt the need to post that, first of all.
So can I say who commented?
Yes, go ahead.
My mother was the one who had commented on the post, and you know, I understand that she feels somewhat jaded because my other half isn't mentioned, but it's because my white side isn't being oppressed. My black side is. And regardless of the semantics, I'm seen as a black woman in America, period. I posted it because my children their dad is also mixed like me, and they are completely different colors. My daughter is very light skinned with green eyes, and she has coarse hair though. You can tell by her hair texture that she has black in her, but she could pass as a white girl if you didn't know she had black in her. Whereas my son is copper skinned, black hair, black eyes. So when you compare the two, like my daughter might not be as oppressed as my son is. So I wanted to put it out there, like, I don't want my son going through I don't want to be the mother of a son that was wrongfully killed because of someone's job. That makes no sense. So it was just, I had to put my views out there, especially as being mixed. Just because, dude, especially out here, there were so many. I'm in Sacramento now, but there are so many protests going on in my area, and I couldn't go to those protests because I'm a single mom.
Right.
And so, but I wanted people to know that I stand with you. Like, I'm there with you. I can't physically be there.
And again, I understand where you're going with your post. I really do understand. And I know that some people see mixed race people in a different light. I don't understand why they don't, because we already know one drop of black blood and, you're
exactly.
black. And it might be a stupid question, but how do you identify on everything? Like,
I identify as black just because, and I didn't used to. If I'm being 100%, I really didn't. In high school, I had majority white friends. My best friend is white. One of them's mixed, and the other two are white. So it wasn't really something also I thought about until someone else brought it up. Being called a half breed, being called high yellow mutt, like you get called a lot of things, but when you hit a certain age, oh, that's racist. When as a kid, you don't really know. You just think, oh, it's just a bully,
Wow. What age did you get when you realized those were racial like remarks?
I was super naive. I was probably like 13 or 14. But even out here, I don't mind. I don't give into the ignorance of people when they call me a half breed. But when my children are there, I'm not going to tolerate it, like, at all. You're not gonna show my kids that side of the world yet. They're still very young and they're very impressionable, and you're not gonna make them hate themselves at this young of an age. It's not gonna happen.
And see, I can't even believe that people still say stuff like that. I mean, I guess I can see little children, like very young children. But then again, it's like, who raised you? Because I was talking to somebody today in the grocery store, a white Caucasian lady, and we're very familiar with each other. And we were talking about the show tonight, and she's white, but she grew up in the black community. And she was like, I can't believe the things that people said when we was growing up, and people still in the 2000s is still saying that stuff. Like, I remember hearing those words, those terms younger, mixed breed, different things. I'm not even going to say them because I don't like saying those words. But this is the 2000s, and it's a shame that people still say those things to people, even if they are children. Because again, I'm like, who raised you? It's very offensive.
It is. We went shopping at Walmart, me, my kid's dad, and my kids, and my son's 4 now. At the time, he was like 1 maybe. But we were at Walmart, and this mother and daughter, they were white, obviously, and my husband had seen them. They had like a bunch of cases of soda. And one of the ladies was in a wheelchair. So he said, hey, ma'am, he's like, he was in the military. So he was like, I'll help you. So he unloaded their entire cart into their car. And he said, you guys have a great day. And the daughter stopped us. And she said, can I ask you guys a quick question real quick? You two are a bunch of half-breeds, and you guys had half-breed children? And this was after we helped them. We were not disrespectful to them at all. And I didn't even know what to say. Like, honestly, like, I'm not comfortable.
It would have worked out.
I every time I mention this story, everyone gets so mad. Like, oh, did you cuss her out? This. I was like, no. I remember walking away.
Went on the ground. I like take them out. All that stuff would have went on the ground. Like, pick your issue up. That, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. How do you deal with being that you are biracial, black and white? You said your mom's white, right? And your father is black.
Yes.
In times like these, when the world, okay, every time things happen like this, when there's a white cop who kills a black or brown person and there's no just cause per the community outrage each time, like, how do you explain things like that to your kids? Because you're mixed race, so of course your kids have a little bit of both, and one of your kids is darker than the other. How do you explain things like that? Because they still see white people in their family, their grandma or on your mom's side, and how do you explain things like that to your children? Like us, and you are part of us, but you know what I mean? Full black people. Well, you know, we all got something in us, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
We like gotta sit our boys down, talk to them. You know, this what you do if you run into a cop. Don't be mean, don't be rude. You know, basically kiss their ass. You know, I feel that's how we have to treat our kids. So being you know, mixed race and stuff, do you still like teach your kids that way? And how does the white side of your family feel about it?
So my son is still so young, but he's so affectionate. He loves everyone. Like, he doesn't care if you're purple, pink, yellow, green. He does not care. He loves absolutely. It's the same with my daughter. She's more impressionable to the point of, like, she can tell, like, if they don't have good intentions, they just won't talk to them. But my daughter, she will sit there. She'd be like, I'm black. We're half white. We're half black. She never says she's full black. She always says, I'm half white. I'm half black. And she tells people, my poppy's black. My Gigi's white. And my Uncle Sam is white because I have a half brother. My dad raised him though, but still he's full white. And she just brags. She brags about being black and white. So, and that's her thing. Like, I let her do her thing. Whereas with my son, I feel like, so to get into a bigger background, I do have two stepsons who came from, their mother is Hispanic. Okay. And so, but the dad is the same. My husband is black and white. So it's the same with our two kids. The older one, my son, he's really, really light, like my daughter. And then my son, Alex, is darker complected, like my son, Ollie. Okay. And the thing with Alex is, because I told him after Stephon Clark got shot out here in Sacramento, and they like unloaded like so many rounds of ammunition into that man, and I just told him, because he can get an attitude really fast. I had to tell him, like, if, because he walks home from school with a hood on and with his head down, and he does mind his business, but he will get an attitude really quick with anyone. Like, he's like, he's quick fire. He gets that attitude fast. He's 17. So I had to tell him, like, hey, you need to, if a police officer stops you, you need to just abide and comply. That's it. Whatever he tells you to do it, and do it fast. Right. That's it. Like, you have to be mindful, because they don't care at the end of the day. That, honestly, especially with no justice happening, they can get away with it.
Right. Especially after this last one. I mean, we had a show last night, and we were covering the funeral of George Floyd, and I had read like everything that he said during those 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And it just, the way that he was killed, and the fact that the officer was just standing there like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, like, they just got that much power and control with that gun and that badge. And it does feel like a lot of them, we gonna get away with it. We always do. Even if we get fired, we still getting away with it. We can find another job, you know. So I think I think it's terrible. It's like back in the olden days with our grandparents, great grandparents, they were taught, before you leave the house, because they would walk miles for school and to the stores. Before you leave the house, make sure you know how to act. If you see a cop, turn the other way. Don't look at white people. Don't. I'm like, we haven't even came that far to where we can't even just send our kids out the house without warning them. And I think it's a shame. But as far as the post that you have posted on your Facebook, and your mom, why does she feel like, I don't know, why does she feel some type of way about what you said? Like, when you grew up, you identify as Black now, but when you grew up, did you identify as biracial, or how did you identify when you were younger?
Mostly white. I mean,
Okay.
I definitely fell into the stereotypes because I didn't listen to rap music.
Mm-hmm.
I read books, and I kind of just stayed to myself, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So people categorized me as, oh, she's whitewashed.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just stuck to my friends who were white and who accepted me for who I was,
Mm-hmm.
which is unfortunate to say. It's like the things that are normal that technically don't have a color on it, being a nerd, being a dork, being into anime, being into poetry, being into the astronomy is considered white now. And you can't branch out of that. If you like that, you can't like rap. You can't like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. You can't like those type of things. If you listen to classical music, you can't like those type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't understand why, like, you know how they make things feminine and masculine.
Right.
They make things Black and they make things white, and that's not what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't. And then you also mentioned previously, and I forgot to answer, but my mom is from England.
Okay.
And last year I was blessed to take my mother and I took my kids to England to meet my mom's side of the family.
Oh, wow.
So my mother, though, she's the only one, obviously, in my family that married a Black man and obviously had biracial children. Mm-hmm. So when I posted that, my cousin Becky replied, and I want to read it to you actually really quick because
go ahead and read it. I'm gonna turn the ceiling fan off because it's making this noise. But go ahead and read it.
Okay. So she just said, "Hi." Her name's Becca. Becky. We are basically the same age. Mm-hmm. But she goes to uni in England, and she said, "Hi, Bethany. I'm just sending a message of love to you and your family. I stand with you. I feel so much anger right now at the images and videos I am seeing. I cannot concentrate. There is a protest in a local town this weekend, which I'm thinking of attending. Coronavirus is still restricting movement, etc. over here, though. So I just want to make sure we take precautions over that too. If you have any advice as to how I can help and aid in this movement, please give me some. Sending love again." So this is my cousin.
That's so sweet. How are they taking it over there in England? Because we were talking about, like, my co-host last night. She was saying how she'd be seeing stuff going on in Singapore and just all over the world. So in England, there's mainly white people, but there's Blacks, there's Africans, it's a lot of different races over there. So how, like, what's going on over there? Like as far as any riots or protesting or?
I don't think there's any riots that I know of. But even in the small villages, because I have family in small villages like Shutford and Derbyshire, and they even they don't tolerate that type of stuff over there. Like, it's obviously there, obviously it's everywhere, but it's not as in your face as it is here. Period. Like, the amount of hospitality and respect and love that I had and my kids had when we went, not just from family, but from complete strangers, phenomenal. I could only wish that my kids could grow up with that type of environment around them 24/7. Like, wow. It was. I want to go back so bad. Like, I would love to move there and just raise my kids there, to be honest, especially with the state of, it's not just Nebraska and it's not just here in California. Like, it's every single state. That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And I know that you were born and raised here in the Midwest in in Nebraska, and then you moved to California. So, I know you said it's a lot more, being it's a bigger state for one. It's a lot more diverse out there. So explain like the difference of you being here dealing with black, white, and living there.
So, just like out there, from what I remember, because my family lives in North Omaha,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of like conservatives out in North O.
Mm-hmm.
They bought their house way back when, and they've lived there 30, 40 plus years or whatever. So they were also racist, but I stopped experiencing racism there when I was like maybe 17, 18.
Okay.
So if I did experience, I don't remember it. But out here, there's places like Rio Linda, which is, thank God now, it's like 15 miles from me. So I don't go on that side. But that's where we saw those two women, by the way, that called me and my kids and my husband half-breeds. And
I still
they're
can't
the most
believe that.
people.
That's despicable. And then they let you like help them with their groceries. And I'm like, if you feel that way about people, why are you even entertaining the company?
Exactly.
I mean, just you go your way, I go my way, and oh my God.
But when we walked in, so you know how like people greet you when you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, there was a white family in front of us, and then us, and then there was a white family behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And with a smile and a wave, hello, welcome to Walmart. With us, they looked down and they looked away like they didn't see us, and then immediately we looked back up. Hello, welcome to Walmart, to the white family. And that is just so wow. I don't understand it. As
I
something
don't either.
as the color of your skin, like what I just don't understand. I really just don't. I don't understand it.
I don't either, because I mean, one thing, like, I can look at you, and just because I grew up around, on North Omaha, black, white. I know I have a lot of mixed race friends, relatives. I can tell just by looking, and it's not even to be like stereotyping or anything, that you could
Yeah,
be biracial. But the thing with it is, I remember growing up, and I'm not even light. I think I'm like a brown caramel mocha kind of thing.
yeah,
But I remember growing up, and it was like the light skin was the thing. It was like light skinned guys, light skinned girls with good hair and all that kind of stuff. And then it kind of changed to dark skin. They would say dark skin is in. And then, but the main thing I'm trying to get at is, a long time ago, light skin was like cool and better,
yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So you would think that even if you are mixed race and you're light, that people, I don't know, I'm not saying that you should have a certain advantage, but you would think that you wouldn't get that treatment, because even with models, with celebrities, movie stars, and all that, we all know that usually they go for the lighter complexion people versus the darker complexion. So again, I don't
Well,
get.
even
Go ahead.
yeah, even in other countries too, it's pretty bad. Like China doesn't really broadcast movies with black actors in it, and they literally will change the whole poster of, if it's like Get Out, they'll take the faces off of it, or they just won't premiere that movie at all because darker skin is considered bad, or not really, it's not considered an aesthetic, basically.
Oh,
Like lighter skin is more beautiful and more radiant, and just stupid, just really, really stupid.
mm-hmm. Well, did you and
So
your mom have like a conversation like after that? Because I know what I was going to ask you. Then I'm gonna ask you that question again. But as far as like when your mom had commented on the comments you made, and she said it kind of seems like you're kind of ignoring the white side of you. What would make her? I don't know, because I guess I'm trying to feel what would make her think that you don't think that side is as important, but okay, okay, a lot of people be like, all lives matter, all lives matter. And the thing is, people don't get that we're not saying only Black Lives Matter. We're just saying we want people to understand that Black Lives Matter too. So it's not like we saying we're against white people or we hate white people or nothing like that, but we just want people to realize that it's enough of us dying out here for no good darn reason, and we matter too. So when you grew up, do you think that's part of, maybe why your mom, would comment that way on your post, because you used to identify as white growing up, and then now you identify as Black?
I don't think she ever knew that I identified. I don't really want to say I identified, but I just had more of what was deemed white in my personality. And so I don't think she really knew I identified as white, because like I'm very proud to be mixed. I don't want the confusion, like, right. But I am considered Black. So but I didn't. I posted on her comment, and I just said it's not my white side that's being oppressed; it's my Black side. So the white side at this moment is irrelevant. And she loved it. She just loved the comment, and basically nothing more to talk about. My mom, she means well. I just think she tries to understand it more than most people, because she has a Black husband and biracial children and biracial grandchildren, and so she tries to understand it more. But you can't, if you're white, you can't understand being Black. You just can't. You can't understand being oppressed, because you can't. There's no understanding it. So
yeah, they can try
I think she just.
They can try to understand it, like you said, and I can tell that she means well. I can tell that she loves you, and everything, from her comment. I know that, like you said, people who's not Black, they try to understand, and I think a lot of people really, really do mean well when they say certain things. It just might not come off, the right way, because I think white people right now, they don't know how to act. Like, not trying to be funny, but I swear, right after the protesting started, after George, everywhere I went, if I passed a white person, it seemed like they were being extra, extra nice. Like, have you ever experienced that? I
was just about to say, yes. I won't even say anything, and they'll start a conversation like, "Oh, the Black Lives Matter movement is so crazy, right?" Like, and it's like, dude, do you need a bag? Like, I'm at work. I'm not. What? Yeah, it's crazy.
And even if they say nothing about Black Lives Matter,
also,
so nice.
Why are you random? Is it because I'm Black that you're trying to?
I don't know. I think it's because a lot of people are angry right now with feeling oppressed, with what's going on with these police. And, I think, I don't know if they're kind of like afraid if they say something that somebody will go off on them if they look at them. I don't know what it is, but I swear everywhere I go, every time I pass somebody's white, they're just super like, "Hey, how you?" And I'm like, this is really weird. This is
yes, it's not normal. But I think a lot of white people want to feel included in the movement, and they don't really know how.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes they go about it the best way they can, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be nice to this random stranger who just so happens to be Black." Okay, but like, be a little bit more relaxed with it. Like, because it happened to me every day when I was working and when I went out with my kids. Like, white people went out of their way to help me, and like have conversations. "Oh, you should buy these mangoes. Like, they're just so ripe." And I'm like, needless conversations. I'm out and about with my kids. I don't want to be talked to. Like, no offense, but I don't. I have a good day, but I don't want to be talked to. Well, so I get what you're saying. I experience the same thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of people who is experiencing that right now, and I think it's a good thing, because not that they're going out of their way, but I think they're doing it because they want people to know we're not like them. Because no matter how many white cops kill a Black man or Black woman or a brown person, we don't feel that way about every white person or every cop. It's just that like somebody said, like Chris Rock, he said it best. He was like, there are some jobs where you just can't have bad apples. Like I can't say
Mm-hmm.
verbatim, but you know, with Chris Rock when he was like, okay, if you got helicopter pilots and they be like, oh, we got a few bad apples who like to crash planes, you know, for no reason. There's just jobs where
Right.
you can't have bad apples, you know, and they need to really nip that
Exactly.
in the bud, because it's starting to make everybody think that, like somebody said the other day when we was talking about George Floyd, they said the way the man was looking into the camera when he was on his knee with his hands on his hip, it's like if they're doing that in front of us, like if they playing in our faces like that, you know
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing
Yeah.
off camera. It's probably 10 times
Exactly.
worse. And other cops see it. Black, white, brown, Mexican, other cops see it. They just cannot deny that there's things going on inside these departments that we just don't see. So that's why when I said all these cops coming out now, and sometimes they be like, oh, we don't, you know, believe what they did, and you know, Minnesota was right, and like, y'all need to speak out more often than when we catch y'all on camera. Like, I like what Lincoln,
Yeah.
Nebraska did. Lincoln, Nebraska last week, they did some kind of agreement with the community, you know, the cops and the community trying to come together because they don't want, you know, people being killed by cops and things like that. It needs to be a little more going on like that with the communities. Like, the communities really have to get with these authorities and figure out a way how to combat this problem within their own, you know, departments, so that we won't feel like this stuff goes on all the time,
Yeah.
off camera. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This seems like
Exactly.
It seems like it's
My dad, right. My dad was a cop for 10 years, but he actually left the force because of the crookedness, he says, of the whole institute. But he was a cop for 10 years. He's almost 70 next year. So he went through a lot of racism in his lifetime, in Nebraska and otherwise. He worked at, I don't know if you're familiar with elementary school.
Which school?
But he was.
You said which school?
It's Pecot. Pecot.
That's in Omaha?
It's a bit further. Yeah, it's in Omaha. It's a bit further out, though. It's just a little bit further out. But he was called Big N there. Like, he was one of the only, he was like, there was like 2 black teachers there, and they called him Big N.
What?
Wonder what that stood for. Right. And when he was working there, I was young. I was like 10 maybe. And he just kind of let it go, and he ended up transferring to Skinner. And it was just because when I got older, I was, dang, they used to really call him the Big N. What the?
So disrespectful.
Sorry, I can't say that. You know, what the?
It's so disrespectful.
So
disrespectful
while he's at work. Ew.
And a lot of cops, I believe there are a lot of cops who are just like your dad, who are good cops, but they probably see a lot of bad stuff. And just like we did it last week, like a week ago, with a cop who's a retired Omaha officer. And he had told us, you know, a lot of cops, they scared to speak up. They scared to talk. They scared to lose their pension. They scared to have their partners turn on them and leave them out somewhere, you know, in the middle of gunfire, or, you know, allow them to be killed without having a bag. Cops, you know, they look at people in a department who might tell on somebody doing something, you know, as a snitch, like in the streets. Like, it's crazy how, okay, I'm sure you heard about what's going on or been going on with James Scurlock, who was killed like a week or so ago by that white bar owner in downtown Nebraska. And now,
oh yes,
and after the riots and everything, the police is up there posting on the media for people to come forward and give names of people who were looting and destroying property and vandalizing But in the street, we call them snitches. Now, the cops always come to us because they want us to snitch. You know, call anonymously. It might be a 10,000 reward, but in their own department, they can't even snitch on each other, but they want people to snitch on each other out in the streets. So I need them to practice what they want us to do in their own department. If y'all want us to help y'all out with all these crimes out here that are unsolved, and you know people be knowing things, you know, we need the same from y'all. Because again, when them cameras are off, I'm sure there's all kind of police brutality going on. And it's sad.
I'm sure.
It's very sad. It's very sad. But as far as you goes though, you know,
because then that kind of shines light too. It kind of shines light on Breonna Taylor because she was a young, beautiful Black woman who had just passed her cop academy or something, police academy, and then she's murdered. Like, she obviously was on the right side of the law, and everyone else was on the left side, so they had to come up and concoct a plan to take her out. And that's sad because, again, you lose out on the innocent life, and we still need justice for her. Like, so, and then like all the cases also did not have a lucky person filming, because honestly, if none of these were on camera, we wouldn't have any of this. I always, if I see a Black person get pulled over, I will stop and ask if they are okay. I will start filming when my kids are not.
And if I don't ask if they're okay, I will pull my camera out. I used to do it all the time, you know, because I'm from the hood. I still live in the hood, and I would do it from time to time. Still, I'll see somebody getting pulled over or something, and I'll pull out my camera and I'll be like. One time somebody was getting pulled over and they had these guys, like 4 Black guys on the ground, sitting on the curb with their hands behind their back. And it was like 3 police cars. I went all the way around the corner, sat in the cut, put my camera on Zoom. I was like, if anything happened, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And sometimes we have to go with our guts. When things don't feel right, take that camera out. You ain't got to get right on and harass the police, but take that camera out, because it might be what brings somebody, you know, case to justice, bring somebody justice. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll be like,
exactly.
Yeah, and everybody who's coming in the chat,
I rubberneck. I'm like, are they Black? Let me check. Are they Black? If they're white, I'm like, oh, they white. They good.
Yep, and it's
that's the world we live in.
Right, and that's the only people who I see getting pulled over anyway. I don't never see Mexicans get pulled over, or white people, or I mean, and it could just be me. I'm just not in the right place at the right time, or you know, to see that going on. But it could be just because I live in North Omaha, where it's predominantly Black people. But still, it's like we see Black people pulled over like all the time, and 9 times out of 10, somebody's camera is not rolling. So that's why when I see something, if it looks funny, take your camera out, stay at a safe distance, but turn that record on, because you never know these days. You never know.
Exactly.
Yep. And everybody who's coming in the chat, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would definitely want to thank you for coming on to the show today. When somebody had reached out to me and said, I think you should talk to Bethany. And I was like, I've been wanting to bring, like, we had somebody white, somebody Caucasian on our show like a week ago who's married to a Black man. And she's like I said, some white people, they are heartbroken. Like, they're heartbroken over what's going on. And not because all of them ain't married to somebody white, or they don't have mixed kids, or they didn't grow up in, you know, Black communities, but they're just humans with a heart. They're just humans with a heart. So that's why I always try to tell my sons, everybody ain't the same. Treat people how you want to be treated, and don't look at everybody, you know, through the same mirror. But yes, so I definitely thank you for coming on today. Is there something you want to leave with the crowd, with the people who's tuning in, you know, regarding the Black Lives Matter issue before we go?
Um, honestly, just stay strong, but also use your voice. Like if you have social media, post about it. Like we need justice, and social media honestly is our weapon. Social media is our weapon. Share stuff. If you see anything about Breonna Taylor, if you see even the old stuff, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, everyone, share it. Post it on your newsfeed, post it on your timeline, everything. Text it to people, have them share it. Get the message out there that we want justice, and we want justice now, period. Like we shouldn't have to wait a decade for justice. We need justice right now. Enough has been enough.
Yes, enough has been enough.
And also stay positive, because we can make the world.
Yes, we do need a lot of positivity and love right now. And I just want to remind people also that Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Los Diablos Motorcycle Club at 4 p.m., 2501 Ames Avenue. There's a fundraiser for the family of James Scurlock. They are selling dinners. They're selling raffle tickets, also taking donations. So I will be there as well, 4 p.m., 2501 Ames Street, the Los Diablos Motorcycle Club. So on that note, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Bethany, so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come talk to us. I really do. Thank you. And
Bye,
everybody,
guys.
bye-bye. And everybody, don't forget, tomorrow night is Friday Night Live. So on Friday Night Live, no topics off limit, no holds bar. We've been going through so much lately. So we are going to have a good time tomorrow night. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're going to have some kikis. Talk about some funny things going on out here in the news and with different celebrities and everything. So everybody is welcome back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So feel free, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, hit the notification button so that you do get the notification tomorrow night, because we're going to have some fun. And of course, we can have up to 6 people on the platform. So that means I can have at least 4, 5 of y'all jump up here on the screen with me so we can, have some fun tomorrow night on Friday Night Live. So in the meantime and in between time, everybody, please stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant, remain vigilant and healthy. And I'm out. Deuces.